Let's give him 50-50.
Take it.
Love these guys. Love them. Folks, as I told you right in the beginning, history will be made once again on the Olympia stage, as it is every year. But this year, a little bit more special, the return of the Miss Olympia. Go Hele, yeah. Listen, world champ, all right? We haven't had the Olympia stage for what, 6 years, 7 years? We're back. You're back on the Olympia stage. World champion, great title. Jake Wood put up a hell of a show in that Rising Phoenix every year now, and it's become one of the premier shows on the circuit in the IFBB Pro League. But there's always been something special about the Olympia stage, Hele, and you're back on it.
I cannot say how excited I am. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I mean, it's been a crazy year, so thanks for making it. Thank you also for everybody at home at pay-per-view watching this and supporting bodybuilding. I mean, yeah, it's been a crazy year, and that this is the year of the return of the Miss Olympia is just, it's fantastic. It's the best thing that has happened to me this year. Because a lot of things has been really difficult. All gyms closed down in California. I had to switch gyms like 5 times because they kept closing down, finding undercover gyms. So, but I managed, and I've been training the whole time. A few days at home, but mostly at the gyms. But being back is like, I mean, I've been at the Olympia stage a few times before, and being back is amazing. Especially also when the Olympia was on, was just when I was a rookie, when I was getting started in the sport, and I didn't have the physique that I have now. But of course, also, I've always had the desire to win the Miss Olympia. And now I feel like I have the physique that can win the Miss Olympia, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, Hele, you've on your Wings of Strength team, you happen to have somebody who is excellent for advice in this type of thing. And I assume she's still here in the front because I got lights, but where's Linda Murray? 8-time Olympia champion Linda Murray. I mean, listen, that's a hard act to follow, but listen, it's great that you guys get to interact. You guys work on the same team, obviously all the Wings of Strength stuff and all that. So I know Linda's excited to be a part of this Olympia and the return of the Miss Olympia. So, but you've got competition.
Yes.
You've got a lot of competition.
Which is awesome because it makes it even more exciting.
Sure it does. Listen, you want the best of the best. Sugar Sean, it's the Olympia, man. Do we have any competition for Hele?
You heard about this lady, the marvelous one, Margie Martin. Woo! Yeah, last time I saw you, we were at the Olympia Expo. We were reintroducing our Olympians to the industry pretty much with some of our veteran Olympia winners. And you came out and just showed it all right there on stage because you were ready then. Are you ready now?
I'm 1,000 times more ready than I was last year. And this moment is such an experience. When you're a fan of bodybuilding and you're a fan of the Olympia, just like you're sitting out there like I was in 2011 was my first Olympia. I got to see Phil Heath get his first championship win the Olympia, and I said, I can do that. I want to do that, and I'm going to do that, and it's going to happen.
You're here.
I'm so excited, and you can do it too. Just believe in yourself, have the heart, have the fortitude to say it, and make it, and make that claim for yourself, because everyone standing here has always got the strength from someone else. They always have someone to look up to. Find that person, find that mentor, and go for it, and don't stop until you get it.
Well, we had the Rising Phoenix just a week or so, 2 weeks ago, and you weren't there, surprisingly enough.
No, I only won one title.
But did you watch it online?
I did because I love all those girls. I love all the women that compete there. Kudos to every last one of them for keeping women's bodybuilding relevant, keeping women's bodybuilding beautiful with shapes. I love every last one of them. Thank you, girls, for doing that.
There you go, kumbaya. So that was motivational for you to get here, watching them.
No. The motivation was already set from the time they announced that Miss Olympia was back. That's what I wanted, and that's what I'm here to get.
We could thank the Wings of Strength crew and Jake Woods and
all right.
Linda Murray and Alina Popa, too.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things that they set a statement that they were going to have Miss Olympia back, and they didn't stop. And with the pandemic going on, when there was just 20,000 reasons to cancel, they said, no, we're going to keep doing this. And I was trying to do every show that there was this year so I could show what I was bringing, but instead I got to rest a little bit. I created a gym in my living room, and then I just said, you know what, I'm going to move to Vegas because that's where the best place to train. And so that's what I did. And so I'm so thankful, and even though they moved it to Orlando, and I'm happy because it's warmer here, and I get to show off this body even more, I'm so grateful that everyone just stood fast in their guts and kept it going. So thank you, guys.
Well, let's address the elephant in the room. We've got 10-time Miss Olympia,
Yeah.
Iris Kyle, coming back to compete on the stage. How motivational for you is that?
It's an a motivation level to say that I'm happy that she's here, and I'm happy to put her back into retirement.
All right. That's marvelous right there.
Hey, listen.
It's all about the mindset.
You're going to call yourself marvelous. That's what you got to bring right there, okay? 10-time
Well, the
Olympian
thing is
Iris
that
Kyle.
People don't really retire until they feel like they don't have any more to give. And I want to be able to give her that. So, kudos.
Hey, listen.
That was like a rest in peace statement there.
Listen,
Shots fired, Bob. That's what that is.
The return of the Miss Olympia wouldn't be what it would be if we didn't have some champions. Yaxini's coming back, former Olympia champion. You got Iris, marvelous Margie. You got world champs. You got Hele. Where's Alina? I know Alina's down in the front somewhere. Alina. Here's Alina Popa, everybody. Got to give her a shout out to my girl, man.
Olympia first runner-up, Bob.
Should have had at least one Olympia title, but we'll get into that later, okay? Yeah. But the bottom line is welcome back, ladies. The Miss Olympia is back on the Olympia stage where it should be. To be well represented. It's going to be a great show.
Absolutely. Bob, you were talking about the stash last year.
The stash.
Yeah, it was like the difference in winning and losing.
That's what won it. You won it by a mustache.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, your reigning defending classic physique champion, Chris Bumstead. The Canuck.
And might I add, the stash is a little thicker this year.
It does look a little thicker, yes. Very Freddie, the singer from Queen.
Well, listen, we're going to go a little back and forth here because we can't let this moment go. I got Breon Ansley here, 2-time champ. He has no mustache, okay? Listen, clean shaven. He says he did not lose by the mustache, and he's going to prove it this year, Chris.
He can try.
No, and it's no mustache, it's no fro. It'll be straight up physique and a complete physique for sure.
Bob, this is the apples and oranges type of a thing because the physiques are not similar. They're very different.
No, listen, and that's what makes it tough for the judges because they've got, listen, what's classic? Is classic a look? Is it the physique? Is it a combination of both? Breon, you got beautiful lines, man. Obviously, there's a reason you won the title. But you're right. Chris, I mean, he's 6 inches taller than you. He's got the hair working, the whole thing. It's apples and oranges. What are you going to give to the judges that they can distinguish and get that title back in your pocket?
I'm just going to outpose. I think it's outpose, Chris. It's just not about my...
Where's he weak? Where do you get the champ?
Oh, I get him everywhere. I get him everywhere. Everywhere. I'm more complete. I have a more superior physique from head to toe. And it's just about displaying it correctly. But first and foremost, let me thank, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Jake and, Tamer and Dan and, the Olympia staff and committee. I know it was an arduous but yet courageous move to come into Orlando, and I'm very grateful to you guys, very grateful to you fans and supporters for following us here. You guys, make us, and you guys are everything to us. Thank you guys so very much. And we get to display our hard work, and we're very grateful, I know all of us are, to put it on display finally for you guys at the end of the year to finish this year off very, very strong. But back to you, Dan. Excuse me, Dan.
Dan, Bob.
Bob.
All the same.
We're all in the same group.
No, I don't need to. It's not a physique thing. Even though I improved in areas of my physique.
Not a physique. It's the classic physique. What do you mean it's not a physique thing?
As far as me taking the title.
Why did he beat you last year?
He beat me because it was
Because of you, or is it because of him? Like, did you just come in off? You let the door open, he snuck in there, or did he just take it from you? Come on, give me something.
No, I will respect the judge's decision and say that he beat me, with probably 3 more poses to my 2.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's what it all comes down to as far as the numbers are concerned. But I still feel my physique is superior again. My physique is more dominant, and I have more of a complete bodybuilding classic physique.
Chris, he's more complete. What are you going to do?
When I came in last year and you asked me this similar question, I told you Classic Physique hadn't found someone who had set the standard of what it was meant to look like. And that was my goal last year. I wanted to come in, and I believe because it was such a new division, it was still searching for someone to be at the top, someone for the young kids coming up that they wanted to strive towards that standard Classic Physique look. I showed that last year, and I was young, and I was not complete. I was not 100%. This year, I'm going to show an improved version of that. Next year, an improved version of that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys what the standard of Classic Physique is and what's going to be in the future, and I'm going to set it.
Now, excellent, Chris.
Well,
Now,
you're gonna have
Sean,
company. There's some guys that aren't on this stage that are going to be up there offering different looks as well.
Well, we've got a wrench to throw in there now. Now, even though we've got just a representation of the athletes here, we've got the top 2. There's a little wrench in thrown in there this year, and that's Logan Franklin. Now, I bring that up. I don't know if Logan's here. I hope he's here. But Logan has emerged as a strong contender for this title. He had a great year. Now, the reason I bring this up, Brian, is you talk about apples and oranges and comparisons for the judge and all that. Logan Franklin is very, very similar to Chris. Similar height, structure, weight. Obviously, you guys got the parameters in which you have to adhere to with height and weight for classic division. Are you worried about Logan Franklin? Because he does match up very well with the current champ.
Not one bit. Not one bit. Worried about anybody.
Why not?
Not worried about anybody. And I'm glad you brought that up, because if you're saying that, the classic structure and the look is similar to Chris's, that does not coincide with me losing by 1 point last year. That doesn't coincide by a shorter competitor, Alex Campanero, winning the Arnold Classic. That doesn't coincide with Terrence Ruffin coming second at the Arnold Classic, a shorter competitor, shorter than me.
He's shorter than Sean, I think, and that's hard to do.
So for everybody out there talking about Classic is going in a certain direction, taller direction, this and that, think about all that. And that's... I want you to think long and hard about all that. And then, the tides are going to turn again Saturday night anyway to a shorter classic competitor in Breon Ansley. So there we have it.
All right.
There we have it.
Well, Bob, let's give the champ the last word, because obviously
Always.
he's the champion. You got 2 to your credit. Of course, Danny Hester won the first one.
Yeah.
What did you do differently coming into this one to make sure you walk home with that trophy this year?
I mean, first off, I'm just fired up to be here right now. I'd love to be stern like Phil Heath over there, just glaring into the crowd, but I'm too excited. I can't have my smile, and it feels damn good to be back as the champ. And I'm excited to be here in front of you guys in Orlando, and I know we've all had some struggles finding gyms around our city and whatnot, but no struggle compared to what it must have been like moving this entire show across the entire country.
Right.
So I'm grateful for Dan and the Olympia team that we can be here right now and put on a show for the crowd at home on pay-per-view watching this. I'm super grateful for everybody and just really excited to be here, to be completely honest. So I had to put that out there. Can't have my smile right now. But different this year, it was just more work, to be completely honest. Last year was a learning process for me, and it was something I didn't feel like I was falling into my groove quite yet. And this year I really found myself. I got some advice from the champ himself, the GOAT, Phil Heath, and it was exactly what I've been doing this year. He told me to get to know Chris the man, not Chris the bodybuilder. Exactly what I'd been chasing throughout the year. I kind of got more in touch with myself, my mind, my mindset. COVID definitely helped with that, putting some focus on kind of internal stuff rather than external, and everything just falls into place after that. So it's been something where I've been a lot focused on myself this year, my mental game, and it truly feels like I'm coming in here, I'm not competing against anyone, everyone's here to compete against me.
Spoken like a true champion right there. Chris Bumstead.
That's why he's the champ. Well, Sean, before we round out our panel, because we got some great champs to hear from, 2 things of interest. One, I want to give a big shout out to my man Tim Gardner right down in the front row. Tim and Eileen. Tim, I know it's been a crazy year, and all the shows seem to have all migrated to Florida, and that's your neck of the woods, bro. I know you've been instrumental in putting out a lot of these pro shows, helping other promoters put them on. Thank you, bro, for everything you do. Tim's also involved in the Olympia, and it's been really challenging this year because what Tim's involved in is the most affected here because of obviously we can only have X amount of people, and we got some restrictions and things, but thank you, Tim. Much appreciated. Folks, if you're watching at home, all right, and this feed's going out live right now, Sean, that people can watch this and kind of see what's going to be coming this weekend. You're seeing history in the making. Get the pay-per-view, folks. Don't be left out, all right? You still got time. You can go to Mr. Olympia, OlympiaProductions.com. Is that right, Dan? OlympiaProductions.com for the pay-per-view. Folks, you do not want to miss history in the making. Dexter making his way for the last time. I mean, that's going to be emotional. I know you've got the family here, Dex. Tears will be flowing, bro. I know you will, and it's going to be a great Olympia moment. You got Phil coming back to try to get the title. You got Brandon trying to defend the title, and we've got these champions right up here. We'd be remiss if we didn't get to our two-time Fitness Olympia champion, Mrs. Jones.
What up? How are you?
Mrs. Jones.
Sing it, Bob.
We got a thing going on. Another one for over 50 people out there. Thank you. The champ.
Yes.
You've been the champ.
Yes.
You have ruled that stage the last time since that lady left the stage. Oksana Grishina, we're going to get to in a second. She's back.
She's back.
She wants what you got what she wants. Mm-hmm. She's told you, look, I'm not coming. Well, she didn't really. I'm just paraphrasing. Yeah. She said words to the effect of, I'm coming back for you, Whitney. Ooh. I'm coming back to get what's rightfully mine. You've been borrowing it for the last 2 years, and I'm coming back. It was something like that, right? Was that close?
She speaks Russian, bro. She's speaking Russian.
Russian?
Yeah, she doesn't understand you.
Oh, I thought you meant I was speaking too fast. I thought
Slow down.
Russian. Anybody?
That was quick.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Whitney.
Yes.
You the champ, but you got the champ coming back.
That's right.
Now, we talk about the other athletes. We talk about whether they tailor routines. Now, you guys actually have a physical, actual routine. Some of the greatest routines in the world. Fitness is still one of my favorites, especially to push off any show because it gets the energy going.
Yes.
The audience loves it. Are you tailoring anything that you're doing because she's coming back?
No.
Alrighty, thanks for coming. The Randy Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
The greatest thing about the fitness division, though, is that you can bring your own style, your own genre. And what's great is we've both been champs, but we're totally different in our style and our approach. But one thing that we are consistent with is the passion and the energy. And let's be honest, fitness needs to bring the fire and the music, the costumes, and we need the crowd to feel our energy. Otherwise, we're not doing our job.
Now, and it's been weird this year because we've had shows where there's almost no audience.
Yes.
It's got to be weird for you guys because of all the athletes. I mean, listen, bodybuilders can go out there and pose, and that's cool and all that. You guys, like I said, you literally feed off the audience and their energy. What do you do? How was it weird? I mean, when there was 5 people in the audience.
Well, honestly, prepping for this Olympia, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to happen. I really had faith, even if it was going to be in a parking lot. I knew that there was no way you guys were just going to let it not happen. So kudos to you guys because everything we've seen so far has been top-notch. And for the people who couldn't make the transition to Florida, thank you for tuning in because I promise you it will be one hell of a show this weekend. But as an athlete prepping, I feed off the energy of the crowd, and it's something that just keeps you going. 2 minutes on stage by yourself when you are just going at it's tough, and the eyes are all on you and only you. So you do feed off the energy. Knowing that, I had to prep as if it was going to be no one in the audience. And I went in with that mindset, going, okay, I need to have the crowd in my own head. And the way I prepped, the way I would practice my routine was in that aspect. Now, if there was a crowd, awesome, even better. But I had to prepare worst case scenario because you come in, the Olympia, you come in on point. Every training session is to go in. For me, it's to defend that title and to make it a three-peat. And so I practiced every little detail as I prepped for this day.
I am looking forward to this showdown. And again, we've got some other great competitors who aren't on the stage here today, but will be on that stage tomorrow when you guys are doing your thing. Oksana Grishina, welcome back.
Yes, from Russia with love. A multi-Miss International, 4-time Olympian champion coming off of retirement. As a matter of fact, you were coming back out of retirement and you got injured.
Yes.
And the Olympia got postponed.
Yes.
And you recovered from the injury.
It works for me, yes.
And now you're going for your 5th title.
I'll do my best.
Is this your 5th title?
I'm going to do my best. I don't know, winning is not the point. Doing better than you have to ever done before, that's the point for me. So I want to do better job. I want to do my best for you guys, and I hope you like it. I hope you will appreciate all this hard, hell of job, hell of work, what I have done. So yes, and I just miss it, and it's the first time when I feel relieved. You know, it feels so great to coming back.
You feel relieved with her hanging on to 2 trophies and defending the title? You're relieved?
I feel relieved because I'm here. I'm honored to be here. And honestly, Olympia is the best thing humanity does. It brings the world together. And this time it was tough. It was tough for everyone, for any country. I mean, this is difficult. And that's why I feel relieved being here. And I think it's a huge celebration of sport where the best athletes of the best coming here from all over the world. It's hard to get here. I mean, and that's why I feel relief. Well,
it's interesting because your story, your journey is you left Russia, came to America with nothing, hoping to become a pro, and you wind up 4-time Ms. Olympia champion. You showed us all the multiple personalities from the Joker, the Phantom of the Opera, Michael Jackson. What are we going to see this year? You got some prizes for us?
Of course, you will see it tomorrow.
Listen, she ain't giving that up, all right?
Right.
Now, Oksana, I got to go back to the last time you were on stage. As I called you out as doing, I mistakenly said 5-time champion.
I remember.
Now,
that.
the question is, was I just being prophetic? Was it Bob Stradamus?
Bob Stradamus.
Is it going to be 5-time? Was I actually right just a little bit ahead of myself?
I promise, guys, I'll do my best.
They're so diplomatic. These guys. That's why I hate the fitness chicks. They love each other. They do. They listen. They all work together. They all do each other's routines. They put routines together for each other. Can you imagine Phil putting together Dexter's routine for the final Olympia? And say, hey, champ, I was playing around with some transitions and I thought of you. I'm not seeing that, but. Listen, this is going to be a great showdown with this Fitness Olympia. And again, we've got multiple Olympia champions on the stage, which seems to be the theme this year. Speaking of champs, easy there, the tough guy, easy.
Yes.
Kamel El-Garni, you're a 212 Olympia champion.
What's up, everybody?
Now, Kamel, you've got an interesting story because you competed for years overseas trying to get to the IFBB Pro League, doing everything you could, wrapped up a lot of the politics back then and all that. We don't have to go down that road. But when you finally made it here, you made the best of it. You won the title. But you're not the youngest guy here. I mean, you got Derek, who's, I think, half your age. You're,
to be honest, if I married a little bit early, it could be my son.
He could be your son. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, and Kamel takes great pride in this because you're at what, 49?
49, yes.
49 years old. I mean, you talk about, listen, whatever fountain of youth Dexter has, certainly Kamel found it. At 49, Sean, to be the best in the world at anything is a huge accomplishment. And you've showed listen, you could have taken the title and gone. I mean, and that's it. But you came back to defend the title, especially against this guy.
And I'm going to show something different this year.
Like a third arm? Like, what do you mean different? Like what?
Probably. Could be.
Oh, it's a big one. Yeah,
It's a message. To be honest, it's a message for the old bodybuilders, the young bodybuilders, that they rush things up. We're going to show them this year, do not rush it up. Because it's not just a time of like 10 years or 15 years, no. What's after? I mean, I've been competing since my first competition was 94. So if you count my competition, I can't even count on myself. So, guys, take your time and make sure you can beat. And that's a message maybe here for some crowd here. They'll say, "Oh, we're too old." Never old.
Right.
You could make it and you could improve all the time. We talking about bodybuilding here. You see, bodybuilding it's a proof, and you're gonna see tomorrow night what's the improvement I bought.
Well, the cool thing is, Kamal, is your hallmark has always been your conditioning. You bring the conditioning. You're always in shape. You've never been out of shape for a competition. But it's more the quality. You're not the biggest guy in the 212. You don't claim to be. You claim to be the best, and you were the best last year.
Last year I weighed 206. This year I weigh 211 point something.
Okay.
So you're going to see some quality muscle as well. Not just the condition. Better condition with the heavy and more muscle. That's what we've been working since December last year. I remember like last year, December, Chris, my coach, he sent me a video. And I seen that video, which is like in my room last year, one of the video he took. And I said to him, what do you think? He said, next year, bigger and harder. I said, let's go. Let's start tomorrow. And we started since that day. And actually, we bought that package. So it proved, because like what we say, everybody says like, what you gonna improve? You're too old. What you gonna do? What's this condition? Now we're gonna prove you all wrong this time. And then you're gonna be, wow. So it's gonna be a lot of old people going back to the gym and they're gonna train. So,
attaboy, champ. Yeah, way to inspire. Listen, best of luck, 49 years old, defending the title. He has no intentions of giving it up. But this guy right here, last year, at the prejudging, was in the lead. Bro, you came out, and listen, I'm pretty close to you guys on stage, so I can see what's going on. I'm like, oh, wow. Derek brought it, man. Like he's, and then all of a sudden, it kind of started to fade a little bit. And it was like, oh no. Derek, hang on, buddy. But you were there, and you had it. And we've talked about this before, but you had the formula. Like, at that point, it's kind of difficult because you're obviously there at the show, can make some minor adjustments, but you had it, man. You were right there.
Yeah, last year was good. We brought a better package from the year before. But I had a lot of learning to do, man. And so I thought about it. I took the feedback from last year on how we can improve our physique. And we definitely were very diligent day after day, week after week to make sure that we made those improvements for this year, which we have. But I learned a lot about the fact that I actually don't need my competition to motivate me. And there's a difference between inspiring and motivating. These guys up here still inspire me like day one whenever I first started bodybuilding. I can look at their physique, I can look at their work ethic, I can see how they carry themselves, and I can be inspired by that, and that can motivate me to be better day in and day out in the gym. But as far as getting that feeling inside of you of like, man, I gotta beat this guy. I don't feel that anymore. I feel, what I think about is I just focus on myself. I'm obsessed with getting better. I'm obsessed with progression. So for that, I feel pretty unstoppable because as long as I want it, I'm gonna keep going after it.
Yeah, and Derek, your last two first runner-ups obviously serves as motivation, but you're also not long for this division. It's a struggle for you to get down to the 212. Is this make it or break it for you and move up next year, or where's your mind at with that?
Look, man, I promised myself that I would not think about anything else from last year's Olympia to this year's Olympia besides me getting better. So I've analyzed every single thing. You can ask my coach. He's sitting right there, James Brown, JB Prep. You can ask my fiance, Jelson. I've talked to them daily. We've had considerable amount of communication back and forth on how we can be better, whether it be my relationship with her or my relationship with my coach or whatever. So when it comes to bodybuilding, like I said, I'm obsessed with wanting to get better and progressing. And so I have just literally you probably noticed that I wasn't so outspoken on social media as much. I did a lot of social media, I did a lot of different platforms, but I wasn't out there going, I'm coming to win. I mean, I think people already knew that I was working and they could see that I was working. But I just buried my head and I felt like a Dorian Yates almost this year, to where I said, I'm going to get better physically, but mentally and internally, I'm going to build this character up because, like he just said, look, I'm coming for that title this weekend, but I expect many years here.
And how old are you now?
I'm 27.
One of the youngest guys in the show, Bob.
I tell you what,
He's got a lot of time.
you've got Sean Clarita, and you've got David Henry, former Olympia champ. So the 212 is stacked up as usual. These guys always bring it, man. They're always in shape. Guy Cisternino. I mean, there's a whole bunch of names in there, but we got to circle around to the speed round. Phil, you look pissed off, man. I got to be honest. You got that look like I'm all business here, man. Like this is it. Like this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but like you got blinders on to what's going on here. We've been in many Olympias together, my brother, but you got that look, man. You got that look in your eye, like, you know what? Like you just want to rip your stuff off right now and get to a pose down right here on the spot. Now, I know we lost Debo this last week, which is inspiring enough for you, our guy, but rest his soul, Debo.
My chain.
I know. But you got that look, man. I got to be honest.
Well, there's a reason for it. If anyone could put themselves in the mindset of attaining 8 Mr. Olympia titles, I mean, just think about that. When I was Mr. Olympia the first time, there was only 12 at the time. I became the 13th. Now there's 15. At the end of the day, I have plenty to be thankful for. Job's just not finished. I'm just ready to get this shit started. I'm tired of sitting here.
I appreciate it, bro.
And I'm being honest. Yeah. I'm thankful for being able to come here and actually have a show to compete at and do my thing. But I'd be fooling myself I'd be dishonest. I told myself I'm going to be completely vulnerable and real with the fans when it was time. This is the time. I'm here not to play any fucking games. I'm here to go get my title back. I'm going to do it, and that's it. I don't care what anybody else will say. I know what I want. I know I've done it before, and I'm here to do it again.
Now, you see that man right there? Sharp-looking suit, looking like a champ, well-spoken, well-read, right? Conducted himself all year as Mr. Olympia and did a hell of a job. Is that the same Brandon Curry you competed against a couple of years ago, or is this a different guy?
I have no idea. No, I'm being honest.
Do you care?
I don't give a shit. And that's no disrespect to him. It's just not about that. He did his job. He won. Congrats. But I don't give a fuck. I want to go get my title back. That's it.
Is this destiny for you, Phil?
Absolutely. I mean, when I decided to come back, I wouldn't be back here unless if I was able to do what I do. And that is bring the freaking pain on stage. These guys know what I can do. That's why they all said the same thing. Phil comes back, I train. It gives me motivation to train harder. We've all heard the same story, right? We can all be honest with that. I've beaten a lot of guys along this journey. I've beaten a lot of legends along this journey. And I think a lot of people forgot about that. There's a gentleman, Jay Cutler, in the audience. I remember when he lost. And they wrote his ass off real quick. And I remember chatting with him. He'll tell you. I went up to Hani. I said, man, if you work with him, man, let's see what he can do. Because I wanted to see what he could really do. And he kicked the shit out of all of us in 2009. Yeah. And I was up on that stage as well. So I know what can be done. I know how fans can be emotional. I know how I can make mistakes. I know how I could take things for granted. And I know that I can grow from it. And I'm here to show that. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. Because a lot of people, just didn't, you talked about Brandon being disrespected and stuff like that. Man, I've been disrespected a lot throughout my career. I've been discredited throughout my freaking career. And the only thing I can focus on is just win. You can't win with that type of noise. It ruins the vibration within inside, so you can do your absolute best on stage. You have to reduce all the noise, so then you can focus on your energy. And that's all I did over the past however many years when I didn't go on stage. But I knew when I get back there, I'm going to be a different person. And that different person is dangerous. And I think everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Bob, you had a good read on the look in his eyes. Tell me about the look in this guy's eyes.
I can't see his eyes. He's got glasses on. Yeah, there you go. Listen, Brandon's cool.
What is he thinking right now? Because this is his title. A lot of people think it's slippery. Lee Haney said there's nothing more dangerous than a man with kids at home in defense of his title. And he had kids pretty much throughout his whole career. You got 4. Are you hungry?
Well, I want to say I really do appreciate Phil for coming back to the table. This is a dream come true. It's an honor. It's something I've been longing for a long time, to be good enough to stand toe-to-toe with the champ. Honestly, I think we knew this was eventually going to happen. And I'm on cloud 9. It's like I'm dreaming right now. It's like I actually get this opportunity. It's actually real, because I thought it was going to be a little elusive. 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe not. But when I got word that Phil was ready to take this title and come and challenge me, I was excited. I was very excited, because like I said, I grew up, coming up, looking up to Phil, watching him dominate the sport. And I'm like, man, when am I going to be good enough? When am I going to be good enough to stand toe-to-toe with Phil Heath? And here we are. As the champion, I got Phil trying to take this title away from me.
You're 24 hours away from that dream matchup, Brandon. And I know when we talked initially, when Phil made the announcement he was coming back, you were very genuine in saying, you know what? I'm glad he's coming back. You didn't miss a hitch. I mean, you said, I want him on stage to prove. Listen, this was no fluke last year. I don't care who showed up at the line. It wasn't my fault he wasn't in the lineup, or this guy or that guy. But I want him on stage to legitimize, and I want to take him on one-on. You were adamant with, you loved the idea of him coming back.
I mean, how do you become great, right? You
got to be great.
You got to be greatness. And Phil is a great champion. And like I said, it's an honor to compete against a great champion, a legend in the sport, one of the greatest in our sport. And, so I came out to shine. I came out to show out. I've done my work, and God willing, we're going to press him, we're going to push him, and we're going to come out with a victory.
I like
Another
it.
history's going to be made.
Listen.
You can't stop it.
Hey, listen, when you're the champ, you act like the champ, okay? If he didn't have that kind of an attitude, he wouldn't be having that Sandow on his mantle. But Phil he had the carpenters out last week, and he actually made his mantle a little bit bigger. Lee Haney said he actually stopped competing because he ran out of room on his mantle. Phil said, I ain't going down that road. I know people. All right, we're going to rifle right down the champion row here. Big Ramy.
Yes, sir.
We have heard this for years now. Big Ramy's coming. Big Ramy's coming. He's 300 pounds. You can't beat him. He's too big. He's bigger than Phil. He's bigger than Brandon. He doesn't have the quality, though. Do you have the quality now?
Winter is coming. Tomorrow.
Winter is coming. Bob doesn't know about that, but winter's coming.
Winter's here.
I told you. I saw pics. I saw pictures. Listen, I've seen a lot of pictures in my day, okay? This guy's in shape. He's still got the small weight. He's a big man. How much you weighing now for...
290.
290.
Oh, my. You were that, last night?
290. In shape at 290 is scary, Dex.
Yes.
What do you make out of these big young guys? I mean, this guy's ridiculous.
It's bodybuilding, bro.
Yeah, it is bodybuilding, man. But 290 pounds on stage, bro.
I just competed against him at the Arnold.
Did you beat him?
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's bodybuilding.
There it is.
I mean, he's big. He's Big Ramy.
Yeah, he is. That's why the name fits. If he was kind of says it all. But Dex, hang tight, because I gotta say the best. We normally give the champ the last word, but in this instance, this year, I'm going to go to Dexter for the last word. But William, they call you the conqueror. But you got a couple Olympians here to conquer, my friend. What are you going to do this year? What are you bringing? You bringing a third arm like Kamal? Something different we haven't seen?
Man, I'm just being me and try to improve every year, and I'm just here to do me. You understand? The way the other guys look, I can't control that, so... And
you don't fear the big guy. I mean, Big Ramy's 290.
Why should I?
Listen, Phil's not small, I mean, these guys are huge.
Why should I? The only one here at this table who I haven't beaten is Phil.
Hmm?
I mean, Rami, I've beat him before. Dexter as well. Brendan as well. You know, Phil is the only one I haven't beaten ever, so I shouldn't be fear for any one of them.
Did you welcome Phil's return as much as Brandon? Brandon, like, he was genuinely excited. When I talked to him, he was like, no, he wasn't putting on an act. He was like, no, I love the idea that he's coming back.
I even did a post to welcome Phil. I did a post on my social media to welcome Phil. Normally, I don't, interfere with these stuff.
Right.
I just do my own thing, mind my own business. But I even welcomed him on Instagram, like, whoa, the champ is back. So let's go.
All right, hey, we got to wrap it up, Bob. The fitness ladies got to get out.
Well, listen.
Time crunch.
Give me a few. I got to get to the champ. Got to get the Hadi to people. Listen, the people voted for Hadi Chupan. The fans that were out there watching voted for Hadi Chupan.
Bringing anything different this year?
خب اینجور که ما دیدیم صحبت‌های دوستامون همه اومدن قهرمان بشن.
He says, well, the way that I'm seeing it tonight, it seems like everybody's here to become the champion.
Short and sweet.
ما اومدیم اینجا تماشاچی باشیم اینجور که معلومه.
And he says, I didn't come here to just be one of the spectators.
That's what we like about this guy. That's why you're the people's champion. Hadi Chupin.
All right,
we got to wrap it up. These guys got to eat and they got to drink. This is brought to us by
Dexter ain't eating. We already know that. Whatever he's eating half.
The final word.
All right, listen. Normally, again, I go to the champ, Brandon. With all due respect, Brandon, this year I'm going to defer. I'm sure you have no issue with that because it's all about this man this year. This is celebrating, not this year, but 20-plus years on the Olympia stage. 29 victories. I mean, you can't overstate this stuff enough, Dex, of what you've done, what you've meant to this sport, what you've brought. It's not going to be the same without you. It's never going to be the same. Anytime you get somebody of this magnitude that's going to hang him up, we feel that loss. We felt it with Jay, when he left. We felt it with Ronnie because his presence, the big nasty and just Ronnie being Ronnie and all that. And you're right up there. I mean, you're one of those guys. Like, you got yourself to that elevation, that position, that these guys revere you. Nobody talks smack about Dexter Jack. You know why? Because they know it's just, listen, we're selling tickets, we're doing all that. They have the utmost respect for you as I do, bro. We've been doing this a long time, and I can't wait to announce you for that final time on the Olympia stage.
Thank you, and I can't wait for it to happen, brother.
So, Dex, I'm going to give you... we've been through a lot, bro. We've done shows. I've had you in the middle of the stage at the Olympia for that acceptance speech. This year's a little special, obviously. It's the last time you're going to be on there, and the Olympia stage is so grand this year. It is so, when you see this, bro, it's going to blow your mind what they were able to do in about 5 weeks' time. The biggest Olympia stage of all time. So no better fitting for you. But Dex, I'm going to give you the last word. You got your family out here. The microphone is yours, my friend.
As you guys know, family is everything to me. I've done this my whole career for my family. And I love you guys. I love this sport as well, so I want to give a shout out to Mr. Mannion, to the IFBB, to NPC, to Jake Wood, all the major players, Dan Solomon, all the past greats that I looked up to. Everybody who had an impact on my life, I want to give a shout out to you guys, and thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to my fans. You are one of the most important reasons why I've been around so long. There's come times where I've contemplated. I've always said I give myself a few more years